Everybody. My name's Eddie Avalar. I work for the Central Union High School District, and I am a instructional technology coach for our district. Duties are pretty widespread for the work I do. Primarily, it's meant to help teachers and to a lesser extent, the community and our students better utilize technology in the classroom for teaching and learning purposes. But along with that, I kind of do a bunch of other things. So I support with more of the IT support stuff, installations as well. I kind of help uh, be the mesh point between the IT team and ed tech and the instructional side. So I have conversations, I'm in a lot of meetings, but really it's supposed to be training and support for teachers and students. That's really should be the bulk of the work. Because I'm a coach, I also have the opportunity to go in and support teachers one-on-one. So I've served as a mentor for what's our induction program here at the district. But in addition to that, I go in and I'll help do, let's say, some informal observations of teachers, make some recommendations, have some conversations, and in the process of that, also kind of share out how they can kind of incorporate or leverage technology that we have available in the district. Really, to be in this role, I think it's obviously you've got to have a degree in education and more specifically a credential to teach, which I do. So prior to that, I spent time at a school district. I was also at the County Office of Education before coming here. I think in addition to that, it's just a love for technology and more importantly, probably for helping others. I'm asked this question a lot, what motivates you, or if you had a dream job, what would you do? I think regardless of what I was doing, it would always involve supporting others, supporting the community. It just so happens in this case, it's teachers and it's students, and in this case, our local community here at CUHSD. So really, those are the kind of things that are useful. And the last thing I would add to that is just really kind of a curiosity or a thirst for learning. Always something new to learn with technology and in instruction in terms of making improvements, adjustments, tweaks. So it's a never-ending process of being a lifelong learner also. Work schedules is, I don't want to say it's typical for a teacher, but it's similar, right? So clock in the morning type thing, and I'm here during the day, similar to teachers and students. So we would say 8 to 3 or 7:45 to 3-ish kind of is what our schedule looks like. We do a lot of after-school stuff, so we'll do trainings and we'll have meetings and conversations. Sometimes we'll have to shift our schedule a little earlier, just simply because we're getting ready for our training. This is a perfect example. This isn't a normal week that I should be here, but because we're not supposed to be here until next week, but we need to prep for professional learning and trainings and different workshops. We're coming in just a few days earlier to get ready and get ramped up before the school year starts. So it's pretty typical, but there's sometimes weekend conferences and things like that, but it's pretty normal, just like you'd find in education. I think some of the things I mentioned earlier are what kind of led me to this position and this career. Beyond anything, I think a disposition just for learning and being curious. I didn't start off wanting or thinking that I was going to be in this role. I think if I look back, I had a mentor teacher who was really good with technology at the district I used to work at before. And so he helped shepherd me along and introduced me to different strategies and ideas that I could use to kind of boost engagement, really reach my kids, support them, and kind of diversify the learning experience for them. So I think that helped tremendously. I've always had a knack, so to speak, for using tech and incorporating it. Even in jobs prior, I used to do, I guess, like collegiate outreach, right? So I'd support getting students into colleges and universities even before my job in education in the K-12 sector began. And it was the same then. So a lot of PowerPoint, a lot of design of flyers and forms and documentation and spreadsheets for a range of things. So I think there's, a lot of things kind of coalesced into leading me to this. I had a lot of support along the way, from previous, like I mentioned, mentors or just advisors or supervisors who really kind of gave me a lot of latitude to kind of try things out, and really learn along the way, things that kind of pushed me out of my comfort zone. So I guess I got here by luck, in some senses, but I know every step along the way I've really tried my best to make every moment count and learn and grow, and I think that's how I ended up here. Most rewarded at any time in my career. I still think the most rewarded is being in the classroom, I'll be completely honest. Um, there's nothing like meeting with former students after the fact. Sometimes they won't tell you in the midst of it. Some will, some won't, but after the fact when you meet with them, maybe in an outside environment, they'll kind of share or give you real specific things that you didn't, not that you didn't remember, but you didn't realize made an impact. So I think, hearing stuff like that about how much they felt either respected or cared about, I think is the most rewarding thing. In terms of working with adults, my colleagues, my peers, our teachers, it's being able to see them feel like they're having success in the implementation of educational technology in their classroom. And sometimes that'll show up as a big smile or as a thank you, or just seeing it in action when you're going through a walkthrough or an observation. And I think those are the biggest kind of takeaways. And again, this job is always in service of others, and I think to a larger extent that's what we do in education. And those are the biggest kind of takeaways and things that kind of make you feel best when you look back on it. If you want to look into being an educational technology coach or an instructional technology coach, I think it's, again, kind of going back to some of the things I might have said earlier, is being a lifelong learner, being curious, and being willing to try different things. Because there's always an evolution of what teachers are using in the classroom, what's happening in education. It's kind of keeping your ear to the ground about, tendencies and things that are changing in society, and how that can have an impact in the classroom. In addition to that, I think having a strong foundation in education. I was fortunate, even before I decided I was really going to pursue teaching and then educational technology, I got to see my mom as a teacher. She was a lifelong teacher, 30 plus years in the profession, and that certainly was impactful to kind of see the way she interacted. Ultimately, you'll hear this, that there is no replacement for a great teacher, right? So technology is just it's a vehicle to kind of unlock things and to support students and to allow things that may have been more complicated or less efficient in the past. Certainly it presents a whole world of opportunities, but it starts with the teacher, the enthusiasm of the teacher. And so if you have that foundation of the core skills of what is going to lead you to success in being an educator, it'll certainly make a big difference in how you approach being a technology coach or any other profession in education. So something that wasn't asked but is really important is, I think, the concept of collegiality and self-care at the professional level. I think sometimes we forget, uh, as a society, just how many stresses teachers are under. And when you work hand in glove with them to make positive impacts in the classroom, I think it's important to remember, whatever professional setting you're in, to build strong relationships with those around you, to be willing to take advice and learn new things, and at the same time to encourage each other and yourself, in this case myself or anybody, to have moments of reflective self-care, to be able to kind of step away and analyze why things are working, may not be working, ways to improve. Otherwise, I think you can get not stagnant, but you can get yourself caught on a loop. And I think it's just important to kind of understand those relationships at the adult level, how we support each other professionally, and to understand kind of what our stresses are and how we best kind of unlock our greatest potential as a whole.